Hi, I'm Alex from Tutoring Heroes, and today I'm going to help you with some literacy skills. Let's go and have a look at what we're learning about today. In this video, we're going to look at how to write a story introduction. Our checklist says you want to grab the interest of the reader straight away. You usually describe or introduce your main character and the setting near the beginning of your story, although of course you don't have to. And to start your story, you're going to use your writing tools, which includes varied sentence length, different types of sentence structure, different types of language, and different types of punctuation to create interest. So here are just a few ideas, and we're going to look at 2 different pages here of ideas that you could use when thinking about how to start a story. The first way of doing it is to start with a sound. This engages the senses. So you might have boom, crash, whack as your first word. You might have some dialogue. You could have 2 characters talking or shouting at each other, and this shows the relationship between some of the main characters right at the start. You could start with an action scene, which makes the reader very curious as to what's happening. You could use some description to describe the character, the setting, or both at the same time. Another way you could start your story is with a statement. This sets the tone or the expectation of what's going to come for the rest of the story. Some writers are clever and they have a statement that actually doesn't relate very much to their style of story, and this is them just trying to trick their reader. And the final way is to use a rhetorical question, and this makes the reader think. Now, of course, when you're writing a story, you need to have all your writing tools in your back pocket, including how to create sentences using different types of punctuation, and then this list here of different ways of adding interesting words and description into your writing. So adjectives, alliteration, powerful verbs, adverbs, just to name a few. So, if I was going to write a ninja story, I could start with some noise, and I could also start with a little bit of dialogue to start my scene. Swoosh, swoosh, ow! Someone yelled out from the darkness. Bam! Then all went black. So I've got a really catchy start. I've used lots of exclamation marks as my punctuation. I've got short sentences to try and grab the interest of the reader. And I use those main starters of noise and catching the senses as well as dialogue. Another way I could have started could be something like this. The dark figure crouched silently behind the dustbin, the moonlight bouncing off the silver tin lid. Beads of sweat ran down Jimmy's forehead. He was exhausted. So in this one, I've actually started by describing the character and describing the scene. I use some adverbs in there silently to try and help with my writing to make it more descriptive. I use really short sentence at the end, he was exhausted, just to change the flow of the writing to try and keep the interest of the reader. So as you can see, 2 very different ways of starting my ninja story, but it starts it in different ways with a different tone. So in summary, you can see all of the things you can consider when writing that introduction, using start with sound, dialogue, action, description, using a statement, rhetorical questions, but remembering that you need to use your general writing tools to add interest to your writing. I hope this gives you a few ideas and helps you get started with some of your story writing. Thanks for watching this video today, brought to you by Tutoring Heroes.